Hey, what's up, everybody? Amazon has announced some pretty major changes in their fee schedule for 2024. As if Amazon's not already charging sellers so much money for so many services, and they increase their fees more and more and more and more. We're sitting here now with even more increased fees from Amazon going into 2024. My name's Fred McKinnon. This is the eBusiness Online channel. I run the eBusiness Online e-commerce agency. We do full service white glove marketplace management for your Amazon channel, Walmart channel, other direct-to-consumer channels. If you're ever in need of help with your e-commerce goals, be sure and reach out to us. So let's talk about this. Right now it's Saturday, December 9th. And Amazon just rolled this out, a few days ago, I think earlier, maybe around Tuesday this week. And look, the story's been the same now for, I don't know, the last year or two. Amazon sellers are getting tired of the screws being tightened down on them more and more and more and more. Amazon continues to increase the fees associated with selling on their platform. Their fulfillment fees are going up. Commission structures are going up. Return rates are going up. The cost to advertise on the platform is going up. There's just everything about it is getting more and more expensive. The partner carrier rates to inbound your inventory into Amazon's warehouses gone up a lot this year. Now, it's gone up for everybody. So that's not necessarily Amazon. They're just kind of following the market as far as what your UPS and your FedEx rates are, things like that. It costs more to ship today. So of course it costs more to ship into Amazon. But this latest rollout for 2024, excuse me, it's really, really gotten a lot of attention. Typically at the end of the year, Amazon will announce a modest little increase maybe in their FBA, which stands for Fulfilled by Amazon, in their FBA service fees. Maybe they'll give a tweak on the storage fee. So let's talk about that for a second. All right, so you may already know this, but for those that don't know this, I want to always be sure to clarify acronyms here. So when I say FBA, that means Fulfilled by Amazon. What that means is that if I'm a seller, you're a seller, and you have products, when you sell those products on the Amazon marketplace, that order has to be fulfilled one of two ways. Number one, merchant fulfilled. You as the merchant, as the seller, get a sold ship now email from Amazon. It tells you what the customer ordered, gives you their address, you ship it to them. You have to provide the tracking, show Amazon that you shipped it, and close it out, get paid. All right. The other is FBA, Fulfilled by Amazon. That means you take your products and you ship them into Amazon's warehouses, and they distribute those across the country in their fulfillment centers. And then when a customer buys it, Amazon picks it, packs it, puts it in a box, labels it, ships it for you. There's a fee for that, but they do it efficiently and actually, in most cases, cheaper than any of us can ever do. So that is FBA. And when your product is in FBA warehouses, at an Amazon warehouse, you're going to get two fees. You're going to get the fulfillment fee when they ship that to a customer. And you're also, per unit, you're going to pay a little small storage fee to be able to have it in that warehouse. Okay, so you're going to be paying for real estate, either in your own warehouse or at Amazon's warehouses. And the storage is usually pretty reasonable. It gets pretty expensive in Q4 because storage space is a premium in the warehouses during the holidays, during Q4. So typically, that's about what they do. They change, maybe they increase the rate to fulfill to a customer a little bit, and then maybe they might tweak that storage rate. Well, going into 2024 right now, they have just unleashed a litany of crazy updates to their fee schedule. And it is crazy. I'll throw my glasses on here and we'll do a little screen share, and I'll put this in the notes. And while we're here, again, if you're watching this, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to this eBusiness Online channel. Hit the little subscribe button. There's the little bell for notifications. Make sure you hit that bell, because if you don't hit that bell, you're not going to get notified when we release a new video here. And of course, always encourage you to leave a comment on these videos, share it. If you've got a question you'd like answered later in another video, feel free to ask in the comments. We'll get on that. All right, let's go to the screen share here. All right. So I'll provide a link to this in the comments. but this is the novel that Amazon has provided. 2024 US referral and FBA changes summary. And I'm just going to hit the high marks and talk about them a little bit. And if you really want to dig deep into this, you can go in here and you can find this for yourself. Every year when they do this, they give this all glorious thing about how awesome they are and how incredibly they are. At the end of July, more than 1.8 billion product units were delivered on the same or the next day, nearly 4 times what we delivered in 2019, with the majority of these units sold by independent sellers like you. As we look to 2024, that is buzzword for prepare yourself to get punched in the gut. We will implement a set of fee changes that will continue to provide you with great value and allow you to partner with us together. Okay, so they say overall, we expect sellers will see an average increase in 15 cents in fees per unit. Okay, now, so let's talk about that, all right? And then they tell you about why they're awesome and why they're cheaper than everyone else, okay? Now, a few new fees. Number one is what's called an inbound placement service fee. For standard, which is one of the size tiers for Amazon, your products are either standard or oversized. And one thing I noticed in their language is they've gotten away from using the oversized and they're starting to say a large, bulky size. So that's kind of a verbiage change that Amazon switched to here. It's always been oversized before. Now all of a sudden they're calling it large, bulky size. So in the past, here's what's happening. All right. So Amazon, typically, when you go and you want to create a shipment, in the past, you had an option to force Amazon to only let you send it to one warehouse. And there was a premium for that per unit. Because typically when you create a shipment, a lot of times, like let's say I'm sending 6 cases of 100 widgets. And when you do that, they might say, okay, you need to send 2 boxes, so 200 units, 2 boxes of 100 to Charlotte, North Carolina. We want you to send 2 boxes of 100 to Fort Worth, Texas. And we want you to send the other 2 boxes to Reno, Nevada. All right. And so even though you're sending 600 units, 6 boxes, Amazon, when you create that shipment, they might split it up and tell you 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, and give you the labels for it and all that. All right. Sometimes they did that, but many times they didn't. And it was more often than not when, I'll create a shipment that may have 1,000, 2,000 units on it. And I'm in Southeast Georgia, St. Simon's Island. And many times our shipments would go to Charlotte, North Carolina. And it would all just go to one place. And so when I would send it to Charlotte, when my inventory arrived at Charlotte, then over the next few days, it enters into a phase called fulfillment center processing and distribution. So the 1,000 units that arrive at Charlotte get scanned in, credited to my account, and then Amazon starts distributing that all over the country. And you can watch it on the back end of Amazon. You can say, oh, I got 10 units in Philadelphia. I got 20 units in Atlanta. They've just put 40 units over in Chicago. And they spread out your inventory all across the country. It's called inventory placement. And what that does is it gets your product within 1 to 2 days of delivery via regular ground to any Amazon Prime customer there is. All right. That's why they can say, hey, free 2-day shipping, because Amazon can just ship it regular ground, the easiest, quickest, slowest way, and it still gets to you in 1 to 2 days, sometimes same day. All right. Well, what it sounds like is Amazon's tired of footing the bill for that. They don't want to, it's expensive for them to let you send everything to one destination and then they have to distribute it all across the country. That's an area where they feel like they can make some money. And so now you're going to have to pay for that. So let's take a look at what they're saying. And introduce an inbound placement service fee for standard, and there it is, large, bulky size products to reflect our costs of distributing inventory to fulfillment centers close to customers. These fees will average 27 cents per unit for a standard size widget and $1.58 for large, bulky ones. Now that's substantial, okay? So one of our products is oversized. And there's 5 per case, right? There's 5 big bags per master carton. And they're oversized. And if I could put all of those on 10 pallets in one freight truck to Jacksonville, Florida, it doesn't cost me much. But now they're saying, no, we're going to make you send to Jacksonville, Florida, and to Reno, Nevada, and to Fort Worth, Texas, and to here, and to here, and to here. Or they're going to make me pay up to $1.58 per unit. That is huge, right? That's a big fee. So, you know, when you're on this document, again, I'm going to link this document into the show notes here. When you do that, you can go here to inbound placement and you can read more about it and what it's going to look like. But, you know, this stinks. Nobody likes this. Now, that's the bad news. Here's the good news. The good news is to offset this, they're going to decrease the fulfillment fee. So it's not quite a wash, but it's almost a wash. Okay. So, and that's where you see this here. All right. They're increasing the fee by an average of 27 cents per unit, but then on average, they're decreasing the fulfillment fee by 20 cents per unit, or 61 for bulky large. So that's a net difference of 7 cents. So you're paying about 7 cents more to do the heavy lifting for Amazon and get it into multiple warehouses so that they don't have quite as much inventory displacement to take care of. All right. They're going to charge you 27 cents a unit for that for a standard size product, but then they're going to discount you 20 cents per unit on the FBA fee. So we've never really seen our FBA fulfillment fees go down. They always go up. They're going down here, but don't get excited because they're really not, because they're getting it back over here plus a little extra. One thing that you notice is that it really hits a lot harder on oversized. And already, a lot of times I say that it is much cheaper for Amazon to fulfill an item than you can. So take a small little 8-ounce item, okay, that is going to cost you about $5 to mail that first class mail in a mailer, right? You know, 30 cents for your mailer and $4.50 for your first class 8-ounce shipping label, and a little bit for your time. All right. Well, so Amazon's going to fill that for $4.50, something like that, including their labor, their time, their packing supplies, their postage, everything. So typically, we've always said Amazon will fulfill it for you cheaper than if you were to do it yourself. And that's been true all the way through, except sometimes on oversized items. On oversized items, the storage cost is more and the fulfillment cost is more. And so I think that, and that's only going to get way worse with these new pricing modules. So I do think that we'll start to see less bulky, oversized things fulfilled through Amazon, you know, which isn't great. All right, so let's go on and talk about the next part here. We've talked about the FBA fee decreases. There's a program called SIP, S-I-P-P, Ships in Product Packaging. There's a nice little discount fee now for that. And that's when you enroll a product so that Amazon doesn't have to overbox it. In other words, they don't have to take it and put it in another box. Here's a great example. I received this, my black background is blurred, but this is an Elgato Key Light Air. It's a light for video. Mine's right here and it doesn't work. And so we wholesaled a bunch of these. We had access to a bunch of these and we sold them on Amazon. And this is one that's come back. But when they come back, you can see here, there's a big cutout where the original label was that went to the customer. I know why this came back, because it's defective, because when I plugged this light in to replace my other defective Elgato key light, when I plugged it in, this one flickered just like the other one did. But you could see, I know it's blurred out, but you could see where the shipping label went directly on this box. So when somebody would buy this, Amazon would not take this blue box and put it inside of a brown box and ship it. They would just slap the shipping label right here. And you've gotten that kind of thing before when you go, you know, when you go and you do, you order something and it comes to your door and you can see what you got before you open the thing. That ships insane packaging. So there's a good discount for that. All right, so let's keep moving on here. There's a few other ones. This one to me is the one that I hate the most because this just feels like it's going to be a lot of trouble. And this is brand new. A low inventory level fee for standard size products. All right. What Amazon is saying is we want you to always have 4 to 6 weeks worth of inventory in our warehouses. We want to make sure that you have adequate coverage. If you don't have coverage, we're going to penalize you by making you pay more per unit. Man, that one really hurts because I really don't quite understand it. And all of these fees have their own little links that you can click to view more details, as you can see here, okay? Here's the low inventory fee, and man, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So if you have 0 to 14 days, so less than 2 weeks worth of supply, they're going to charge you an extra 89 cents. So one of my best sellers is it weighs about 6 ounces. And so it would fit here in the small standard. And what they're saying is if I allow myself to not pay attention, and if I don't keep, at least more than 28 days worth of inventory on hand, in addition to the other increased fees, they're going to jack up these fees here too. So that makes supply chain logistics even more difficult because now you don't just have to not run out of stock. You have to not run out of 28 or better days worth of stock. And then you have to do this fine dance because if you have too much inventory, Amazon charges you these extra storage fees. Or if you have stale inventory that sat there longer than 6 months. So now we're doing this dance of not having ample inventory, having too much inventory. And if I don't have 28 days worth of inventory, and there's a way they average that out. I haven't figured it out yet, but it's just going to suck. It's not going to be good for anybody. It's going to be confusing, and it's just going to make everything way more expensive. Of all the fees here, that's the one that I dislike the most. All right. Okay. Let's come on through. Those are the biggies, okay? There's some more stuff. They talk about a reduced referral fee in apparel if your item's under $20. There's a new pricing structure for Vine. That's welcome. They've just rolled out some new ways to do Vine, which is where you give free products out to Vine reviewers in exchange for a review. It used to be you had to pay $200 and then you can enroll up to 30 units. But now they have different tiers and things available to you for that. They do have some expanded benefits as part of the US FBA new selection program. I won't talk about that. That just means, when you're a seller and you launch a brand new product and send it to FBA, it's going to qualify for some discounts in that early stage there. Then we get into, increasing rates for storage utilization surcharge, an increase in removal and disposal fees. So if you sell something and it comes back to Amazon, the customer said it's broken, it's defective, it's damaged, it's torn, whatever, and Amazon says, hey, this is no longer a sellable unit. Then when that happens, they're going to give you the choice to dispose of it or to return it. Either way, there's a fee associated with disposing of it or returning. Now, when you hear dispose, you wouldn't think, well, that's going to be easy. I'm just going to have them throw it away. They're going to try. Well, they don't throw it away. What happens is it winds up in some sort of liquidation auction somewhere, and then some other Joe Blow all of a sudden has your product, and they've listed it as new, and they're selling at a cheaper price, and then the person gets it and realizes it's not new at all. It's a return, and leaves a bad product review, and it hurts you. I don't ever really recommend that. I don't trust Amazon to dispose of my inventory properly. Have them return it back to you so that you as the seller can make that choice yourself. Always do that, okay? Well, guess what? It's going to cost you more, no matter what. It's going to cost you more to do that. Everything is costing more. More aged inventory surcharges, increased prep service fees, an inbound defect fee, fees. And finally, we will expand the returns processing fee for high return rate products. So look, at the end of the day, there's more fees here than you can shake a stick at. there's more fees here than you can fathom. Okay, you can go and read this whole page, and you can open up all the side pages to all of these. But the bottom line is, once again, it's going to cost more to sell on Amazon. It's going to erode your margins more. So should you just give up? Heck no, man. Amazon is still the best marketplace for you to win. Amazon, you can still just totally dominate and crush it on Amazon. Every time this happens, at the end of the day, we just got to adapt. You might have to raise your prices 5%. You may have to do something to cover this. If you have the margin to erode, to eat into it a little bit and not raise your prices, well, that's even better, but then you're losing your margin here. But as always, we'll figure out how to do it. We'll figure out, how to get past all these increased fees and make a lot of noise. And hopefully Amazon will listen and take some of these away. But that's not likely because they got shareholders to answer to, right? All right, well, long video here. I hope it's helpful to you. If you have questions, zip it up in the comments. Maybe I can come back and answer that on the comments. Again, I'll drop a link to all of these fee changes in the show notes, and hope you'll subscribe to this channel. Happy selling on Amazon. Hey, and Merry Christmas. It's December 9th. We're getting closer and closer. It's about one more week of crazy e-com selling, and then things get a little calm. Things get a little more fun. So that's a wrap for today. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks for subscribing. See you again soon.